What's up, ghosts and goblins? It's me, your girl, Nat. And joining me today is my bestest friend, Katie.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, wait, hang on. I always jump to it. All right. Welcome, everyone, and you are listening to Wading into the Void.
Yes, you are.
In today's episode, we are going to be reading some more listener stories that are actually from listeners.
Yeah.
Not no Reddit stories, nothing I found on the internet. These are real legitimate stories sent in by you, beautiful Phantom Fam friends and family. Well, family, same thing.
You're a part of us.
Ooh. That sounds a little scary. But yes, these stories are from actual people who have actually listened to the podcast, and we're not just pulling off of Reddit, which makes me so freaking happy.
Yes, these people have heard the Reddit stories, and they decided they want to share their personal stories and happenings with not just us, but all of you. And that's really fun.
Which literally makes me want to cry, because that means people are actually enjoying the podcast and want to share their stories, which please keep sending your stories. We love them.
Yes, we do. And I can't wait to hear what you have, Nat. And I can't wait for you to hear what I have.
Yes, I know. I'm so excited. Okay, so let's start off with our weekly little check-in.
Yes.
Positive thing that happened. Katie.
Okay, well, this is a big one. You know, because I've been forcing you to partake in the activity. But, guys, it's official. I finally started writing my damn book.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Guys, okay, so she's like one chapter in. I read the rough, and then I gave her some, constructive criticism.
Much needed.
I still have yet to read chapter 1 revised, but it is good.
You're gonna be getting chapter 1 revised tonight.
Bro, I haven't even read the first revised.
So don't read it. Just
okay.
Read what I send you next. But
okay.
I've been struggling for a long time, like I told you, with imposter syndrome when it comes to my writing. Mm-hmm. I don't want to rewrite what's already been written, There's about 1,000 things out there that I've read. It's my own personal choice genre to read. And I just don't want to repeat the same thing over and over again. And that's been kind of stumping me for a while. But I finally said, fuck it. I'm going to write my version. And I'm excited to put it out there. Just putting the words on paper feels nice.
Yeah, I'm proud of Katie. And of course, we got Nat Yawn number 56 already.
It's been a long day.
It's been a day. One positive thing. Since the last time I said a positive thing?
Yes.
Do I have any positive things?
We had dinner tonight.
That's true. We did have dinner, and that was very fun.
We celebrated a pretty big milestone for us and the podcast.
That's very true. We did our 20th episode, so this is our 21st, maybe. This 22nd. Might be like our 23rd, 20-something.
It's coming after the 20th episode.
Yeah, exactly. We hit 250 followers, and we're very close to 300 right now.
Literally in like 2 days' time. It's
probably
crazy. Yeah.
We will probably hit 300 within the next day or two as well.
I mean, you guys are just popping off. We're so happy. You're making our lives.
It's literally crazy. Every time I go in and check the Instagram, I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, holy crap, holy.
It's gotten to the point where I think I've actually had to silence notifications because I'm just getting too many.
Okay, listen, I'm close to 1,500 on my own personal one, like, I'm so close. Like, I'm just as close as the podcast. And I don't have my notifications silenced, and it's crazy all the time. My phone is always going off at work, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm probably gonna get fired, because I'm always on my phone.
On my last day at my last job, I had a meeting with a client that I'm keeping on, and throughout the entire meeting, my phone was just like, bzz, 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 and I'm like, I'm so sorry. 1 second. I had to, like, turn them off because it was just constantly going, but it was great.
Oh.
Don't mute the mic.
I had to mute the mic unless you wanted to hear me click-clack and, like, click-clack moo, cows that type. Do you remember that book?
I think I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember. Anyways.
Tarot.
Woo! Okay.
Oracle. We're
Wow,
staying
that
on
intro
track.
only took 6 minutes. Wow.
We're killing it. Wow, that's
Holy
much improved.
Shit. Okay. All right, so today we are going to do of course, the Goddesses and Sirens guidebook again, because I'm absolutely in love with it.
Yeah,
I
we were
literally
obsessed. We were
can't
like, yeah,
stop.
we need it again.
And this one is kind of fucking crazy.
Okay.
But also, I think this is the lady from The Mummy.
Oh?
It looks exactly like the lady from The Mummy.
Okay.
Have you seen that movie with Brendan Fraser?
Yes.
Do you remember the lady in the beginning?
Holy shit.
Doesn't it look like her?
Dead ass.
It must be her. It has to be.
Every artist
It
takes
makes
inspiration
sense.
somewhere.
Probably. Oh yeah, so this deck is by Stacey DeMarco, and the illustrations are by Jimmy Manton. Or Manton. I do see some things that look kind of familiar to me in his drawings. So, but yeah, so today for our goddesses and or siren, not really sure which one she is yet. She's a goddess.
Okay.
We have Ketesh.
Ooh, Ketesh. Me if I was like Egyptian.
This is another Egyptian goddess. That was the first one we got too.
Yeah.
Something means something there.
It's like
So
pay
we have-
attention.
Yeah, we have Ketesh, who represents pleasure.
Oh,
Oh,
I just said this is me if I was an Egyptian goddess.
Katie's like, Miss Thang.
Well, Ketesh, KT. I'm like, oh, it's me if I was Egyptian.
You're this sexy Egyptian goddess in a bikini.
Yeah, definitely not me.
Let me take a picture of it. Okay. Anyways, so Ketesh says, pleasure should be made a priority. Actively seek it. Do not forget what makes you happy. Become more aware of the obstacles to your own pleasure. Ketesh was a Sumerian goddess later worshipped by the ancient Egyptians. Okay, so she's originally Sumerian.
Okay.
While she ended up as an aspect of Hathor, she was originally a deity of pleasure. Ketesh demonstrated that pleasure is sacred, and the sacred is pleasure. She devotes, her devotees believed that every time they experienced the fullness of joy, happiness, and pleasure just for the sake of it, as long as they did not break the law, it was a prayer to the goddess. This may seem a strange way to look at pleasure, especially if we look at this through a traditional Western Christian framework. Ketesh's cult viewed pleasure as holy, rather than something to be controlled by guilt, regret, or shame. If we don't allow ourselves to experience pleasure, whether it take the form of laughter, play, sensuality, or practicing our talents, we are less than whole. We need to recognize that, over time, we are much less effective in our emotional and public lives if we do not experience regular doses of pleasure. Literally me. If we focus too much on serious issues and take ourselves too seriously, then our lives are not complete. Life, work, friends, and family can be overwhelming at times, and our rational minds seem to need every available minute of our time to cope with the demands of the everyday. Even those of us who have more physical natures, such as those who participate in sports on a regular basis, often turn the pleasurable activity into a mental game by making it a competition.
Me.
A big part of pleasure is letting it go. This does not mean surrender, as in give up. It simply means to hand over all of our stress and our worries. So, I think I pulled this up right, so I won't read the shadow meaning.
Okay.
But the symbols of Katesh are a woman with a lion's head, or wearing Hathor's headdress, crescent moons, and snakes. And her invocation, which I absolutely adore this book, that it has the invocation and tells you how to invoke this god, or goddess, I should say. If you find it hard to experience pleasure in your life, you might try to stop for a moment each day and connect with the energy of Katesh. All right, everyone listen up. I'm taking notes. You take notes. Light a candle and some incense and say, I call upon Katesh, holder of pleasure. I know you know the secrets of laughter, of ecstasy, and of joy. Show me how to let go and surrender my resistance, so that I too can share in the prayer of pleasure. Now allow your mind to take you to the last time you felt pleasure of any kind. Ask Katesh to show you the next place you will find it in the future. Take note of this and make it part of your schedule if possible. Repeat daily for at least a moon cycle, 28 days. That's it. Which is, you know what's crazy, Katie?
What?
We were choosing between two cards, right?
Yes.
The next card that was right next to it is the next page.
Oh. Okay.
And that one represented self-trust.
All right, then.
So, trust in yourself that you will figure out your own pleasure.
Yes, ma'am.
Is what that's telling me.
I also think it's a little funny because it's like light a candle, burn some incense. And I was just talking about lighting my candle.
Me lighting a candle, too.
Flame scares me.
Finding my own pleasure scares me because that means I gotta do shit that I don't want to do, but I know I gotta do.
Fair.
So that was that. And now we're going to switch over to a classic. We're going to our Wild Unknown Tarot deck by Miss Kim Crans. Let's go, Kim Crans. And today for our tarot, we have the Mother of Wands.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So, this card represents a person. I know I've said this before. Usually, they have mother, father, son, daughter, and some people take that as meaning like a man or a woman. I don't specifically deem those binary like genders for the cards.
It's about
I think of it
energy.
As feminine and masculine energy. Yes. So, in your eyes, if you think that this represents a woman, that's perfectly fine. I just think it's a feminine energy.
You do you, hun. You do
so,
you.
The Mother of Wands represents someone who is attractive, domestic. The Mother of Wands represents someone who is attractive, domestic, and vibrant.
Okay.
The Mother of Wands is a vibrant woman and a happy mother. Family comes first in her world. She's very protective of it and is the dominant parent within the home. Though proud and determined, she has enough grace and beauty that you'd hardly notice her forceful nature. Oftentimes, she has overcome great pain or trauma in her life, and it's important not to get on her bad side. So basically, this person is a very wonderful person that people seem to be kind of attracted to, whether physically or energy-wise, but don't fuck with them.
Yeah.
Like, don't get on their bad side, because you will get
You will get
something.
yeetus deletus off this earth.
He just delete us off this earth. Exactly. So I don't know if this reading was literally me or what, but I am the mother of my Discord server. I've said this multiple times. Not the Wading Into the Void Discord server, but my Natty Ice Discord server. I have the role mama, daddy, also baby, Nat. That's my role.
Oh.
But I deem myself the mom of the server.
I'm Katie.
I'm Katie, and I like eggs.
I actually don't.
I know. All right, so we are 15, almost 16 minutes in. This was a really quick intro.
It was.
So this might be a quick episode.
Yeah, so for all you people out there that don't want to listen to us shoot the shit for like 25 minutes, congratulations. Today's your day.
Congratulations. Calling you out, Mr.
Bennington Triangle
Name
Man.
starts with a P. We gotta stop doing that. We gotta leave him alone.
I think it's just a running joke at this point. I think it's harmless.
Because it's more funny than anything else.
We're not like
Anyways.
literally calling him out. We just get amusement from the
No.
fact that like that was the one thing he had to pick on.
What's up, ghouls and fools? It's me.
What's up, ghouls and fools? It's me, your girl.
That's not what I meant to do. Oh my god. Anyways, so today, like I said, we're talking about some listener stories. We're gonna read them.
Yes, we gonna read them.
So we have 4 stories today.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So let's just get right into it because some of these are
excited.
kind of fucking crazy.
Okay.
Okay, so let me move Katie.
No,
over there.
don't move me. I was comfy where I was.
All right. So we are starting with a story from. Should I read their last names or should I just read their first names? I could just read their first names, right?
Yeah, first names
Okay.
are fine.
So this is from a listener named Cindy. Hi, Cindy.
Hello,
Thank
Cindy.
you so much for sending this in to us.
Yes, Cindy, you are just sinful.
What? Sinful Cindy. Okay. So, she takes great pleasure in sending us these stories like Katesh would want, right?
Yes.
So, Cindy titled this The Gray Lady.
So not the white lady.
Not the white lady, the gray lady.
Okay.
So this is what she said. I'd like to think I have a curse or an overly active imagination. One night while I was laying in bed, I was just about to fall asleep when I could sense someone outside in the yard. I live in between 2 cornfields, so it could have likely been a deer. But I could see out the window next to my bed, and it looked like a floating, sad woman with black hair, gray skin, and a gray ripped cloth as clothing.
Okay, low-key, this was totally just like a black bear that had like rabies. Just like
What? No way. How is it floating then?
it was hanging from a tree.
Once she noticed that I noticed her, she flew into the house and hovered over me with her black eyes.
Pitch?
She was surprised I could see her, even though I pretended not to see her. It's like she knew I could see her.
How do
I
you
covered-
pretend not to see her if the bitch is literally floating over your face?
I don't know. So, I covered myself with the blankets hoping she would go away. It didn't work. She leaned over me and seemed to want to lay next to me or on top of me in a motherly, loving way and almost run her hand through my hair as I fell asleep. This creeped me out so much, so I started to yell, "Go away! No thank you! Get out of the house and leave me alone!" I turned a light on after none of that worked and waited until she finally realized that I didn't want her there. She returned to the midnight moonlight. Some very novelistic phrases.
Yes.
She returned to the midnight moonlight and continued to float in her sulking posture through the cornfields surrounding my house. Not really sure what happened or if I had imagined it, but it was really creepy, and it kept me from sleeping the rest of the night.
Well, yeah, you're afraid to close your eyes. Was it Cindy or Cynthia?
Cindy.
Yeah, Cindy, you
Could
were
be
scared to
short for
close
Cynthia.
your eyes. I mean, you were afraid you open them and, like,
Brother.
the gray lady's just gonna be, like, 2 inches from your face, nose to nose.
Dude, what's crazy is that this next one's kind of similar.
Oh, okay.
This is by Greg.
Hi, Greg. You are gracious.
Gracious Greg.
Yes. We are
Okay.
grateful for your graciousness, Greg, for sending this great story into the podcast.
Oh my goodness. So, Greg titled this
Alliteration.
Mole Man. Mole Man.
You can't compete with Goat Man.
Well, this is also another sleeping story. I assume that's probably pretty common. I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of stuff happens at night, but also, like, if you're sleeping, you know, you have, like, sleep paralysis or you see weird things.
I was just gonna say, do, like, a lot of our listeners suffer from sleep paralysis?
It's possible. I actually was just talking to somebody about this today. Miss Wit, if she ever listens to the podcast,
Oh,
was
hello.
telling us about how she had sleep paralysis. And I was like, I don't think I have ever experienced sleep paralysis. And if I had, I was too tired to give a shit if my body could not move. I was like, sweet, gonna go back to bed.
Literally me, anytime I had any surgery I needed anesthesia, I was just so excited that they were, like, making me conk out so I could just get some rest.
Oh, I feel that so much.
All right, what does Greg have to say about this mole man?
Okay, so Mr. Greg says, to make a long fucking story short, I shoved a whole bag of jelly beans up my ass. It's been 24 hours and I still ain't seen them yet.
Damn, Greg. Did you see a doctor?
Have you seen that video?
Unfortunately.
No. Greg starts by saying, to make a long story short, I'm the kind of person who sleeps with the TV on. One night at 1:25 a.m. It's a very specific time.
That is
I
incredibly
was
specific.
woken up to the TV being turned off.
Oh?
I'm so used to sleeping with the TV on that once it turns off or a movie ends, it instantly wakes me up. I remember the time was 1:25 a.m. because I checked my phone thinking I had to get up and get ready for work.
Oh.
Once I was coherent enough to realize it was still late at night, I noticed that there was a figure at the end of my bed. I fucking freaked out.
Yeah.
The figure was dark and short and had a black hood. I couldn't see if it had a face, but I was freaked out.
Was the figure
And I turned-
Nat in a hoodie?
Brother, why me?
Because you're short.
Why me? That's literally the only thing. That's so mean.
Wait, how did they describe it?
They said dark and short and had a black hood.
It's you.
Why would I be
'cause you're
standing at
short.
the end of somebody's bed? Somebody named Greg. I don't even know any Gregs.
It's like when you're a
Oh,
kid
my
and you're
Lord.
scared at night, you have a nightmare, and you just go and like stand and stare at your parents until they wake up.
Mom, I threw up.
You're like, Greg.
I can't sleep. Okay, anyways. Apparently I did that to Greg. I was freaked out and turned the TV on and it lit up the room. I could no longer see the figure, but could feel it was still in the room. So I did what any rational human would do, and I wrapped myself up in my blankets and turned on a TV show until I fell back asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Before I fell asleep, I saw images of eyes from the figure. The eyes were mostly white, with a blue hue as an iris, and white paint around the eyes. I woke up again, this time at 4 a.m., and the TV was off again, and there was no presence in my room anymore. Once again, I turned the TV on and fell back asleep. The next morning when I woke up, I told my roommate I didn't sleep well and kept waking up. He said that was weird, because I woke up at 4 a.m. and the kitchen light was on.
Oh.
We have Bluetooth lights that connect to Alexa, and he suggested that if I didn't leave the light on, then maybe we had a power out, and Alexa turned the light on and we got power back. I didn't tell my roommate about the experience I had. Could they be connected? Was the figure trying to say it was watching me? I named the story Mole Man because the figure gave me a masculine energy and seemed like it enjoyed being in the dark and was afraid of the light.
Okay.
Sure, Mole Man. Sure. We'll take it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping for like a mole man, but
Like an actual fucking mole, like a shrew of a man.
yes. Like Peter Pettigrew and Harry Potter.
Awesome. All right. Katie, you have a story from Instagram?
I do. We want to say a huge thank you to Miss Amber for sending this story into our Instagram.
Yes, thank you so much, Amber. I saw when the message came through, and I was like, oh, looks like Katie's already on it. I'm not going to spoil it for myself. So I was like, Katie, you do your thing.
I was like really hoping and praying that you didn't read it.
I didn't.
Because
No,
I was
didn't.
like, I want it to be a surprise.
Yes.
So Amber says that this story took place about 20 years ago. And she says, when I was about 10 years old, my family and I visited the Belcourt Mansion in Newport, Rhode Island. They were doing a history/ghost type tour at the mansion, and we wanted to go. To start off the tour, we went into one of the main rooms. I believe it was a grand hall or a ballroom, which, is pretty awesome, This room was very large. While everyone on the tour was facing the one direction, in this dim-lit room, for some reason, me and this girl behind me, she was around my same age, decided to look behind us. All of a sudden, we both see in the far back of the room a tall, dark figure in a cloak moving full speed across the room and fade into the wall. There were no doors at this end of the room. I saw the hands of the figure holding the hood of the cloak over its head as if they were hiding their face. This happened within 2 to 3 seconds. I honestly thought I could possibly be seeing things because it happened so fast. But the fact that the girl behind me looked just as frightened as I did confirmed we both saw the exact same thing. I immediately tell my mom what I just saw, and she thinks I saw maybe another tour guide or something walking in the back of the dark room. Always moms trying to rationalize the situation.
Oh, yeah, my mom does this same exact thing.
You see, mine would actually take my word for it and be like, okay, honey.
See, I think my mom believes in ghosts, but wants to seem like she's a skeptic so that she's not afraid.
Fair. My mom just totally embraces it. She's just like, okay, you see dead people, that's chill.
It's like I remember telling them stories. Sorry, I'm completely breaking this story right now.
Oh, no, I don't think Amber would mind.
But I remember telling my mom stories about what I saw at our house and her being like, oh, ghosts aren't real. Like, it's fine. You're just you just have a really active imagination. And then my dad told me, like, my mom saw things before of, like, a little dead child or something.
Casual.
And I confronted her about it because I was like, Miss Thang, you lied to me. And yeah, she seems to try to rationalize everything. So I completely understand that. Love you, Mom.
Yeah. Yes. So at this point in the story, Amber just told her mother, and her mom was like, no, you didn't just see a dead person. It was a tour guide. It's fine. So Amber, as any 10-year-old does, tries to brush it off and try to move on from what she just saw. About 15 minutes later, one of the tour guides is telling a story, and it ends with, and I quote, some say they have seen a man with no face that wears a cloak in this area. I immediately froze.
What?
The 2 to 3 second moment of that figure I saw run into and through the wall still remains a very vivid memory in my mind today.
That's
Ghosts
horrifying.
are real.
100%. I just got goosebumps.
Me too. And she ends it with a very lovely note at the end. She says, I also enjoy listening to your podcast and wanted to share this encounter with the Phantom Fam. So thank you, Amber. We appreciate you sending it in. If you have any more,
such a good story.
definitely send them in. We want to hear it. Because you're actually a very good storyteller. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
So that was our great story from Amber. And
yes, that was such a good story.
we're at about 33 minutes right now.
And I have a big story for you.
All right. Nat,
This
take
is like
her away.
both of the first two put together, if not a little bit longer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And this one is from my sister Deary, Dana.
Hello, Dana. Welcome back to the pod.
The pod. I read through this, made sure it sounded good, Dana. You know, I trust you. Hopefully you trust me to read this. I know this story already, so when I saw that she emailed this to us, I was like, oh, I know this story. This is such a good story. And I think our last listener episode where we read the Reddit stories about what seemed like mimics or skinwalkers or whatever the correct term is, she was reminded of this story because this is something kind of maybe similar to that.
Damn, okay.
So, she titled this, Are My Eyes Seeing Correctly?
Do you wear glasses?
No, she does not.
Well, then,
So
bitch,
anyways.
yes, they are.
So, when I moved halfway across the country to Oklahoma, I was working at a grocery store.
When the hell did your sister live in Oklahoma?
She lived in Oklahoma when I was in Kentucky.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. So a while ago.
So she moved back exactly when I moved back.
All right.
So, a couple years ago.
Sorry for the side note.
So, she worked at a grocery store in Oklahoma. The store I worked at was in Missouri, and the store was getting a remodel. So, for a short time while most of the construction was going on, I was transferred to a smaller store in Kansas. The commute was about the same distance. However, to get to the store in Kansas, you had to travel through a small, abandoned town called Pitcher. Pitcher had been abandoned for decades. The town was an old mining town that closed down due to toxic metals in the soil.
Oh, shit.
If you drive through today, it's like driving through a ghost town with giant piles of toxic metal throughout the town.
They
literally
shouldn't clean
looks
that
like-
up, like...
I guess not. It's like, it's Oklahoma. So, I don't know what they do there. I really don't.
Oklahomians, or whatever you call yourselves, please explain.
Yeah, explain picture. It's like Chernobyl on a very tiny scale.
Weird.
Anyways, so there's giant piles of this toxic metal everywhere. It looks like when they're digging out like quarries and stuff, or where they have the piles of like stone and rubble and stuff. I think I drove through with her because I drove to that store with her. I'm not really sure why. I don't remember why we had to go over there or what, but she was like, I need to show you this. So we went through it, and it was really weird. It was in broad daylight, though. However, was not.
Big mistake.
So, at work, I was a closer.
Yes.
Meaning I normally work the shift that started in the afternoon and closed the store. The store I worked at normally closed around 8 o'clock, and we stocked all of our shelves and cleaned everything in the store ourselves. On average, it would take 1 to 3 hours, depending on how many people we had on the closing shift and how busy we were. We got out at just after midnight that night, and I had a 40-minute drive home. I had no problem driving through Pitcher during the day because there was no traffic. But at night, I was always creeped out.
Yeah.
So, I was on my way home in the Midwest, pitch blackout, through an abandoned town with massive piles of toxic metals that looked like gray sand at 1 o'clock a.m.
Nope.
I was hungry, tired, and genuinely just ready to be in bed. Now, I had been driving through Pitcher for about 2 weeks already and had never seen a single thing living there that wasn't just driving through. No birds, no deer, no dogs, rabbits, or anything. Certainly no humans. It was the definition of a ghost town.
Okay.
So, when I was driving home after my long shift, I was shocked to see a person walking the abandoned street all alone at 1 a.m. I slowed down a little to see if I was actually seeing someone walking, but I also didn't want to hit them in case it was a real person.
Okay. I was saying, like, why the hell would you slow down? Like,
She didn't want to hit them because it's a highway. So, as I slowed down, I noticed they were dressed in all black. No jeans, no hoodie. It looked as if they had on an animal skin jacket in the middle of summer.
okay.
As I passed them, I remember looking out my passenger window to see red eyes hidden beneath their long black hair. Creeped out, I stepped on the gas and locked in on the eyes in my side mirror as the eyes dropped from about 6 feet tall to what seemed to be about 3 feet tall.
No.
I could have sworn to this day that it looked like a man turned into a dog or some kind of four-legged animal.
No.
Yeah, it's so creepy. She literally called me right after this happened, by the way.
No.
And was like crying. She was like on the verge of tears, like, holy shit.
No.
So she says, I looked up exactly what I had seen, and everything kept leading me back to Skinwalker or Mimic or whatever. I called my family from Vermont the next day, and they told me my story was crazy, and it was probably some guy just walking his dog at night.
Okay.
Bitch, this is an abandoned ghost town, toxic for people to live in. So,
And she just saw the person literally shrink.
become short. She said, you might not know this, but the closest towns to Pitcher, other than Cardin, Treese, and Duthat, are Commerce and Quapaw,
Quapa.
the headquarters for the federally recognized Native American nation by that name,
Oh, shit.
and Miami, Oklahoma, which is where she was from. So, yeah, when you first leave Miami, you go directly through the Native American reserve.
Okay.
Down
so
there.
you literally, like, go through the reservation.
Yeah, so, like, the edge of the reservation, there's this big giant casino, which is right on the edge of Miami. This is how I remember this. And I remember her driving me through this place.
Uh-huh.
And it was very weird.
I just really hate that. I don't hate the story, but I hate how we're like, oh, yes. I think I might have saw a skinwalker. And then we're like, oh, yes, it was right next to the Native American
Yeah.
reserve.
Yeah, it's
It's
kind of
like,
spooky.
oh, fuck. Okay. Yeah, no, we're not going there.
So the places that she listed were not evacuated because they were far enough away that
Gotcha.
the toxic metals didn't harm people.
Okay.
But she said, to my knowledge, there wasn't a living soul who could be around at that time of night in the middle of nowhere in Pitcher, Oklahoma.
Yeah, especially, like, at night.
Uh-huh.
That makes no sense. Unless it was, like, some cracked out weirdo on the highway.
Wow. Okay. So this is America's most toxic ghost town.
Oh, okay.
So this is kind of crazy.
Shit really is the U.S.'s Chernobyl.
Yeah, it is. I don't think it's nuclear, but I think it's lead.
Which is bad enough.
Yeah. So let's see.
Don't drink the water.
It used to be full of like 20,000 people.
That's actually a pretty big population.
And it was evacuated in 2009.
Wow, that's a lot late.
Pretty recent.
Yeah.
It was deemed unlivable.
Yeah. When you
So
don't
the
have
pictures-
access to clean drinking water, that'll do it.
The area's population dropped from like 1,640 to 20 in less than a decade.
Jesus
so like
Christ.
that's crazy. And it is deemed the most toxic town in America. They had been mining lead and zinc. And the Pitcher mine shafts produce over half of the lead used to make bullets fired during World War One.
Oh,
And contribution continued through World War II.
that's actually a good fun fact right there.
So the town was really booming for a while. However, years of extracting the ore led to large piles of toxic waste scattered throughout the city.
They were literally like, oh my gosh, guys, Pitcher is it. It's where you need to be. It's such a contribution to the war effort. Then we're like, 20 years later, like, oh, I'm
You
sorry.
want to know the worst thing about this? People didn't realize that this was toxic for a very long time. To the point where residents didn't even know that they were being harmed as soon as they stepped outside of their houses. And kids had no idea. They would ride their bikes up and down the toxic piles. And some parents used it's called chat, the toxic stuff, the piles of stuff. They would use that to fill their kids' sandboxes. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So by the 1970s, it was ridiculously contaminated with lead. And there were giant sinkholes and cave-ins in the mines. And awful.
That's
So
terrible. Oh my God. It reminds me of that Aaron Brockovich documentary
that sounds familiar.
because it's badass.
But this is what's crazy is this place is just straight up cursed.
Literally, yeah.
Because the EPA, which I don't know what the EPA is, but the EPA designated funds to cap mine shafts and bring clean water over to Pitcher.
Yep.
But the residents were already suffering incredibly.
Yeah, lead poisoning's no fucking joke.
A decade after the Superfund was established, they found out that 63% of children were suffering from lead poisoning. And in 2008, it really just the nail on the coffin. An EF4 tornado tore through the town and killed 6 people and leveled buildings and destroyed over 100 homes. Oh my. So basically, the EPA implemented a buyout for residents to relocate because it was just awful. And nearly every single person took up the offer.
I mean, why the hell wouldn't you?
So you should definitely look up pictures of Pitcher, Oklahoma, because it is just abandoned.
What am I thinking of? This town is like literally the real life Silent Hill.
So there are still some people that actually live there, by the way.
Why?
They are self-proclaimed chat rats.
Oh, Jesus.
So they watch over the remaining buildings and homes. Pitcher's the only home that they've known, and so their hometown pride is unshakable. And they don't want to leave.
I'm going to say it. That sounds like some wasteland. White people shit, okay? Like...
I don't know.
That's the most, like, backwoods Oklahoma thing I think I've ever heard in my life.
Says that there's little hope that Pitcher will ever return to its former glory.
Yeah, think?
I don't think that this will ever be a town or anything again because of how destroyed the area is. It's kind of crazy that this was this whole, like, lore historical thing, and my sister didn't even know, and she was just traveling through it one day and saw this horrifying thing.
Pictures got me fired up, okay?
This needs its own, like, we need a whole, like, area scope history and urban legends, and that would be cool. But yeah, if anybody has any time on their hands, go look up pictures of Pitcher, pictures of Pitcher, and just take a look at what the town looks like now. It is crazy.
Give me un minuto, por favor. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, it's like everything is just completely falling apart and demolished. And
she had to drive through this?
Yeah.
I would literally fly through there at about 95 miles an hour, so I didn't have to see anything. Sorry, police. Nope, they still got a First Baptist church. There's literally spray painting on the buildings. Keep out.
So, Katie, what do you think of the stories that we talked about today?
I think Pitcher's got me mad. No, they were pretty good. I was amazed at how similar the first two were, to be honest, but and a little disappointed it wasn't actually a mole man, but what you gonna do?
Just a little bit.
But I think I got my own hopes up there. I was looking for like some goat man level shit, so that was on me. But that gray lady, if she came and like hovered over my face like that, we'd be throwing hands. I can't. I'd be like, you gotta leave me alone.
I would absolutely love to see you fight a gray lady. Hovering in the middle of a fucking cornfield. Katie is just choking out this fucking ghost.
I'm like, not here, hon. Get back to the cornfield. I'd like somehow manage to get her outside and then put like a salt ring around the entire house. No, but I loved Amber's story. The fact that she literally had that experience and not like 2 minutes later, the tour guide was like, oh yeah, and... No, I thought it was a really good bunch of stories, especially for the first, like, true listener stories episode that we had.
Me too.
I don't know about
really
you,
happy with
but,
all
like,
the stories.
It feels fitting like we have to pick, like, a favorite ghost weird experience that happened.
I mean, This one's hard. We had 2 really, really good ones and 2 pretty good ones.
Mm-hmm.
2 short and sweet ones.
Yes.
But 2, like, really good, freaky ones. Honestly, I feel like my sister gets way too much on this podcast. So I feel like we're going to have to give it to Amber.
Amber, you win this round. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Like you're in a boxing ring. But no, that was really good. I enjoyed this little lackadaisical episode. Just sharing some stories. And I want to do it again. So send in more.
Me too. I cannot wait for more stories. I'm so excited. I have one story on its way from another friend. Then that one is fucking crazy. I was called in the middle of the night by my friend who was in the middle of having an experience.
Oh, shit.
So look forward to that in the next listener episode because I will keep pushing her to fucking write this shit down for me.
Yes. She needs to do it. I almost dropped her name, but I don't know if she was, like, willing.
I don't either. That's why I didn't tell what I could remember of the story. So next time. Okay. So,
are you
that's
outroing?
it for the stories.
Or am I outroing?
If you guys liked this episode, please tell us about it. Tell us how you really feel by joining our Discord.
Do it.
And also by leaving us a review wherever you listen to your podcast. I mean, I'm not saying this, but I'm saying this. We want 5-star reviews.
I was just going to say, if it ain't 5 stars, we don't want it. But no.
No.
Be truthful.
If you feel like you can't give us a 5-star rating yet, join our Discord and give us your opinion, your recommendations for improvements, and how you think that we can earn a 5-star review. Because we really, really want to earn a 5-star review. And, yeah. We also want you to be a part of our community because our Discord is awesome. It's been popping off. We have so many new friends and Katie's little cousins.
Yep, they're there.
Cam and Peyton. Hello, Cam and Peyton.
Hello, boys of the pod.
Boys of the pod, thank you so much for listening and supporting us and loving our episodes.
And giving us about 1,001 recommendations for the next few.
Yes. If you want more content from us, if you want to see our beautiful little bouncing baby faces or anything like that, maybe some fun fall Instagram posts or basically anything fall or Halloween related, follow us on Instagram at
Wading into the Void.
And you can also follow us on Twitter, but we don't really do much on there. But if you want to, we're on Twitter at
Wade into the Void because of Twitter's lovely character count.
And I guess we also have a TikTok, but we don't really do anything yet.
We have a
wink.
TikTok.
What's our TikTok, Katie?
Wading into the Void.
Perfect. And if you are one of those amazing people who wants to send us a story, you can email it to us at
wadingintothevoid@gmail.com. Just title that sucker listener stories and a generalized heading of what you're telling us about.
Or you could also DM it to us on Instagram, or you could always DM it to me on Discord if you're a part of our server. Because Katie and I try to keep our stories separate.
Yeah, we do.
So that we can be surprised. So that at least one of us could be surprised when we read it. Because we like genuine reactions.
We really do. Like, I was not expecting Dana's story today, and Amber's story was kind of a breath of fresh air. That one was really fun.
That was really good.
But I mean, if you also are looking for a way to financially support this podcast, because we are just 2 girls doing it in our bedrooms, kind of.
Wow, that's a weird sentence.
Don't think about it like that. We are just two girls doing it from the confines of our own homes.
There you go.
You can support us by either finding us on Patreon by searching Wading Into the Void. We will pop right on up there. Or we just put in this like really cool new feature where you can like, I don't know, give like a monthly donation straight through Spotify or Anchor. And that's enough of the Valley Girl voice.
Yes. So yeah, we have a link on our Spotify page that will bring you directly to Anchor to donate.
Yes, and I believe it starts at 99 cents a month and goes up from there.
Which is really, really manageable, and even just 99 cents helps us out. It lets us know that you support the podcast and want us to keep doing great shit.
Think of us like those commercials that pop up on your TV with, like, In the Arms of the Angels in the background. But instead of
But imagine me and Katie in fucking skeleton costumes.
with, like, a bucket that says, tips, please.
Spare change. Anyways, let's get this show over with. Oh my goodness.
Yes, let's do it. This was a good one. Do you want me to take her away?
Take her away.
All right.
I could do the last one, and it'll be about the skinwalker.
Okay. Until next time, our beautiful Phantom fam. Don't listen to your mother if she tells you that you're lying about the ghosts you just saw.
Trust yourself. Come on, man.
Don't let a gray lady just, like, hover over you and drool on you and be, like, weird and shit. Especially don't let her touch your frickin' hair.
Like, beat that hoe up.
Cornfield boxing ring, bitch.
Cornfield boxing. And if you ever see a man walking alone in the dark and all of a sudden he becomes 3 feet tall, looks like a fucking dog, you best run away.
Run, bitch. Run.
Run.
Bye.
Bye.